Take another look back at the first race from Q2.
It looked like Gillen's car was just creeping a little bit and he had to dive on the clutch again there, but watch him ride over the inside of the curbs there. Not ideal, and that would have knocked his confidence.
If you've seen Demoustier going to the Joker lap anyway, would you have gone in with him? I think it might have been a safer bet not to, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you just don't know where, Demoustier's pace is sometimes really, really decent and sometimes is not quite there, but these guys, you just want to have a clean race. There's only 3 of them. The track is really open, so you just want to split your strategies and try and obviously not get balked.
Well, that's what they did. Grosjean in jokering a lap after Shishirit. This was it. Grosjean in around the long right-hander. Tidy job by him. He crosses the line in front of his teammate Shishirit, and that is a much better result. This was when the start finally got away in race 2 after 2 jump starts for both Bennett and Wirtz. Wirtz heading into the Joker on lap 1, continuing to learn the trade of Rallycross. Larsen went with him. And Guy, this was Rustad, who was wild.
Yeah, he was, by his own admissions as well. He said if the time was bad, then it was my own fault. And you can see there, he's just getting dragged offline. You can see even Bennett, even though he finished 6 seconds behind him, he was gaining on him in that part of the track, which just means he's hemorrhaging time.
This was Wirtz getting out onto the dirty piece of track. He's had dirty pieces of track before, but normally lumps of rubber and things off LMP slick tyres. In endurance races, this is a completely different kettle of fish, but we know that Wirtz is enjoying it and we're glad to have him here. Rustad holding on to take the checkered flag. We ride on board with Janis Baumanis off the start line in race 3 of Q2 up towards the first corner, and look at this, a little bit of contact from the left and the right, Guy.
Look at the steering wheel and the impact it's getting there.
Massive handbrake
he's getting driven as opposed to him driving the car. Look there, even fighting back across after Anton Martin comes down the inside. Some big impacts. I wonder if that's what cost him at the end.
And trying to judge those braking zones as well in the dirt. You're firing a car in there at over 100 kilometres an hour, and then jumping on the anchors when you can't see the apex. You can see how people misjudge their stopping points.
Absolutely, but that start car looks beautifully balanced through that corner.
Well, Baumanis, of course, in the sister car, but unfortunately maybe suffering some damage at the start. This was Ericsson towards the end of the race, taking a tidy Joker line, but coming out very close indeed with Anton Martin, who tried to shut the door, but sensibly saw that wasn't going to be an option. A cheeky little look up the inside, couldn't make it stick, and that means Kevin took the flag and the top of the standings. Backward on board up towards turn 1, and again it was good. See, Ekstrom was a clever guy, wasn't he? Moved across off the start to make space for backward, and then it obviously
little tap from backward into the back of Hansen. Then he was never going to make it down, but he had to have a look just because the space was there. But Ekstrom carried great speed into the Joker first lap, and then he just got his head down. And obviously we weren't watching a great deal of him because we're watching the guys out front. But we know he's a great racer, and he was the first guy to dip down to the 38.
This is where Timmy got 2 siders that launched it, and then we saw that brilliant onboard where you see him with the teeth gritted and eyes wide. Backward again,
that compression
that
through
there, which you spotted a race before. These guys having a little fight, and by now, of course, Ekstrom's going to know. He's sitting there behind going, thank you, I'll keep
in clean air as well.
You're about to hand that to me.
No pressure behind. Nicolas, he dropped a little bit with his good pace. And
Look
here we
how
have
physical these cars are to drive. Absolutely fantastic stuff on board, live with the FIA World Rallycross Championship. These races are happening right now while you're watching it. These guys are having these fights. Fantastic stuff. I hope you're enjoying it. Remember to share it if you are. Yes, Gronall came in. It was quite a strong move. Backward one like that, goes around the outside, has a look up the inside, but all that battling just left Ekstrom out front, and Ekstrom looked 240.8 compared to 242.4. Nicely done. Final race of Q2. This was how it went down, and the start was the most interesting thing, really, Guy.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at Sebastian Loeb through here.
Well, Pedder got a cracking start, but Sebastian Loeb through here and Timur Tverzianov. Let's watch now. Timur turns in on him, really.
Yeah, it's tiny, isn't it?
Timur tries to squeeze in more than anything else, but I wonder if it locked the engine up.
Shows what a massive passenger you can be when you get on the loose stuff, doesn't it, too?
I think it just turned his wheel enough and it steered him out onto the loose.
So unlucky for Timur Tverzianov. This was Solberg, who we didn't see much of, but I'll tell you what,
that's
that's
it
the
is
big
in the car.
bump, isn't it, over the left-hander just before the start-finish line.
And if there's one car that's designed,
the Polo should cope
exactly.
with it,
It was designed for World Rally Car stages.
It's sideways, isn't it? Nothing likes to go sideways over a big rut, so not ideal for the damage on the cars. But these guys holding it together. This was Kristoffersson coming out front. Solberg will be disappointed not to have just edged Loeb there. That might have made the difference between second and third place overnight. But nicely done by the man with the number 1 on the car, and I have to say he's looking on brilliant form this weekend. For the standings of after Q2, sorry, and it is Kristoffersen who's the overnight top qualifier from Loben Solberg, as we thought. And Matthias Ekström, look, moving up to 4th, he was 8th, but with that 45 points, which for his P2 in Q2, he moves up to 4th. From Timmy Hansen, Kevin Hansen, Andreas Backrud, and Niklas Gronholm is down in P8. Eriksson, Larsen, both the OMSE cars are in. Markland at the minute is in, and so is Timosyanov, despite that problem in Q2. That seems strange to me, but we'll figure the points out for you later on and double check if that's correct. But if so, we might yet see a result for Timmer.
Yeah, I think it might be correct due to all the carnage that we've seen.